Mike Zimmer's defense exposed. What about the $60 million man? Which parts of this aren't fixable? Welcome. Raise your cup up. Hit like and subscribe. It's the DLLS Cowboys Podcast, and it starts now. Here we go. Micah Parsons has a great question for you on our thumbnail today. What?
What happened was...
What happened? Let's go through it. It's autopsy day on the DLLS Cowboys podcast because they died on the field. The team, the spirit, there was a lot of bad. That was bad.
If they didn't die, we did too. Inside a little.
I died a little. If you died a little bit, leave an emoji of your death in the chat. Hit the like and subscribe. Ready for Jeff to go off from out. I don't go off. I'm very calm and reserved unless Clarence draws me off sides. I am Jeff Kavanaugh.
Wow.
This is my friend, former Cowboys wide receiver, one of the sweetest men on planet Earth, Jesse Holley.
Unless you ask Mickey.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
It must be.
And a man that scratches butt should not eat fingernails.
Deep thoughts.
That man, I'm glad I'm back. Because what?
Next to Jesse is Mr. Lemon Booty himself.
No, I'm not lemon booty. Jerry had lemon booty.
Year
Them
28.
Cowboy defenders had lemon booty.
Of
That's
covering-
what lemon booty.
You got to stop saying it.
He's in his 28th year covering whatever this is. Say hi to Clarence Hill.
You want to win, put chill in. And
They could've
that's
used
a
you.
perfect example of whatever this is, because that's been my 28 years, whatever this is.
Whatever this is.
I mean, unfulfilled expectations. You look at my Twitter profile, 4 playoff wins, unfulfilled expectations. And
Battle tested.
because that's all I got. And that's all I've gotten. And I'm sorry I used lemon booty on the post-game show yesterday, but let's be honest.
You keep saying
The
that.
Cowboys defense had some lemon booty yesterday.
I don't know what that means is the problem. What is
They was
lemon
tighten
booty?
up.
Oh, they were puckered?
We at some point in time we have to just
Puckered up?
do a list. We're not gonna leave you. We got you.
Oh, I'm
Your
fine.
intro's coming up.
I don't need.
We got to do a list of all of the Clarence isms throughout the year.
Oh, there will
Just
be some.
the Clarence
But I mean,
isms.
seriously.
All right, hold on. Let him finish introducing everybody.
Well, and
Then we
it
get
didn't,
right
but
back.
it made sense. Like when he said Jerry looked like he had eaten a lemon. I'm like, okay, I get it. Sour face, like not. And then he said like and lemon booty, and I didn't understand that part. Aisha 2I Morrison returns to us today.
Yes.
Barnacles and tater tots.
Raised from the dead.
I did not die.
She made the mistake of not having her appendix circumcised at birth, and so they had to take it out later.
Do y'all?
Wow.
Do y'all?
You circumcised your appendix?
You need to. We should take it out at birth.
There's so many things,
Snip,
especially
snip.
since circumcision is directly like correlated to men. There's just so many things like that are wrong with that.
They don't circumcise women? Over in Africa, don't they do something like
The football game yesterday.
Aisha,
They do some stuff over in Africa.
Aisha, the Cowboys defense.
That is not funny.
Okay, I'm just sorry.
Aisha,
Google
the
it.
Cowboys defense. What?
What?
Yep.
Yo.
What?
So obviously I was out most of the week, so I went into this game, which I rarely get to anymore, as like a full-on fan. No film, no studying, no nothing. And to see the output effort-wise, it was just, I don't know, man. It was demoralizing in a sense. I mean, we've experienced this already. So just to see them not be able to punch back at all, bro, like it's just nothing like that. What does that feel like as a player, Jesse, when you're on the field or you're an offensive player for
Getting
fairness.
punked.
Yeah, what
The whole
does it
team's
feel
getting
like
punked.
knowing like we can't stop these guys right now?
Don't take your belt off
Y'all
on the
gotta
show.
stop their
no,
Mike Brown said, you get in trouble at school, and she do. I did not tell you.
Right. Okay, right. And you got to emphasize every syllable. Belt the ass.
I don't think
That's
we
what it
should
felt
be.
like.
I don't think we should be. We
Shout
should
out
be
to Kendrick
demonstrating
That's what it felt like.
whoopings.
Corporal punishment.
It felt like belt.
The ass.
That's what it felt like right there.
We're gonna get kicked
You
out
know,
the air.
it
We're
is
gonna get
interesting
kicked
to
out
me
the
because we
air.
keep comparing to past
That's what it felt
beatdowns. I'm sorry, I do not remember San Francisco blowing them off the ball. Like, you watch that defense line, you go from the line of scrimmage to 5 yard. Yes, Green Bay gassed them and gapped them and everything else. I don't remember the defense line getting blown off the ball. It was like pee-wee football. It was like, I mean, seriously, like pee-wee football. Like, I compared it yesterday to, like, LSU going against Northwestern State. I mean, it was the level of competition was just, the Cowboys was just no compete. There was no resistance.
That's what I worry about out of this game is, and our third segment today is going to be about the things that, like, you can lose a football game.
Yes.
You can get smoked in a football
Yep.
game.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some things in there that I go, well, if you don't change that, you don't have a chance.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be the same old Cowboys, which I still think this team can win double-digit games.
Yeah.
This team could be a playoff team, and then that'll be about it. And the one thing that stood out to me is what you're talking about is they thought that they were going to play NFL football with one NFL defensive tackle on the whole roster. Like, with all due respect to the two guys that were on the couch, maybe they can improve as they get in shape or whatever, but they're old guys that were on the couch for a reason because nobody wanted to sign them. The Cowboys were like, we're going to find guys in our camp. And when they didn't, they were like, who's at the house? And the guys who were at the house were getting blown 10 yards off the ball, and now your linebackers are getting ate up, and it was the grossest thing.
And they're fresh now. So as the season goes on, they're going to be tired. That's my point. How they going to improve? They're fresh as they're going to be right now.
Yeah, that part, I don't know what they have to change something.
I mean, but even watching, like, I watched the game back twice. I haven't gotten the all 22 yet, but even watching, there were times where it felt like the DTs didn't know what they were supposed to be doing.
Don't
like
go
they didn't know
backwards.
their no. And I get what you
That's
Don't go back.
that part. You don't have to know what to do.
yeah,
I just
and
can't
that's what I'm
I can't let the guy cross from me,
Kick
take
my ass.
overpower me.
take me back this way.
No, and I feel that, but it was also too, like, because the linebackers were coming to scrape, help out and stuff, and it just felt like so many guys were just leaving dudes out to dry. Let's just be real here. There was a lot of people not in their gaps, not playing their assignments, and it just was. I would describe it as selfish. I would describe what I saw in totality as very selfish play across the board. It just didn't seem like none of them played for each other.
And to me, that's disappointing because you brought those guys in because they know the scheme.
Right.
Okay, they're veterans.
And all their
They
quotes
know-
were, you just do your job so other
they
people
know
can
what
do
they're
their
supposed
job.
to do. And so, and I hear you when you say that they weren't playing the scheme, and Micah said it wasn't the scheme, it was about us getting our ass
Oh
whooped.
no, I didn't say it was about the scheme.
Okay, well, you said they didn't do, they weren't.
That's
I
assignments.
Well, Mr. Assignment, but I saw this guy just getting blown off. I just saw guys just
There was a lot of that.
just when it had nothing to do with the scheme.
I'm
when
just
you're
not
5
strong
yards
enough.
behind.
Yeah, the
it's not doing
DTs
assignment when you're five. I mean, some of those runs. I mean, I saw the video you posted of the 8-yard run. I mean, it's just like the line of scrimmage got reset 8 yards back.
Yeah.
And none of that makes any sense. And yes, it didn't give the linebackers a chance, but the linebackers out there, they didn't feel.
I didn't see the linebackers get off a block all day.
They didn't get out. And somebody put on the chat, ask Chill about 1-3. Well, how does 1-3 go from?
I got you.
Oh, he got the answer.
He has the answer. Okay, how does he go from one of the best defensive players on the field against Cleveland, that Michael, he's gonna be a future Pro Bowler, lead the team in tackles, to 18 freaking snaps?
I got you.
Double less than Maris and other. And I mean, that makes no sense. And 18 is bad.
I have the answer. So this answer's not good enough.
No.
And they have to do it differently. But the answer is nothing changed. Overshown's role didn't change. Leofau's role nothing changed. What they do and what they did in camp and what they did in week 1, when they're in nickel, Kendricks and Overshown. When they're in base and they have 3 linebackers out there, it's Leofau, Kendricks, and Clark. The Saints play a fullback and they play tight ends. They played base. Now, I'm with you. Overshown needs to take someone's job in base. He
No,
needs to take someone's
there's
job.
nothing-
But the answer is that the role didn't change.
I agree.
It's just they ran
I
base.
understand that it makes no sense that you're going to tell me that Overshown's not smaller. He's big.
Right.
He's fast. He's violent. He tackles. How is 18 and 35 better in base than him? Make it make sense to me.
I'll say this.
I don't get that.
There were moments in that game, even when Overshown was in the game, that he had some. You're going to deal with that when you're dealing with young football players. Like on one of the Alvin Kamara touchdowns, right? He takes on the block way too high. Takes on the block straight up and down, and he's supposed to be going to the upfield shoulder to the guard to send it. Because if he does it the right way, if he does it the correct way, Kendricks makes a 1 yard.
No.
He makes a 1 yard gain tackle.
Yeah.
But what does he do? He takes on the block straight up. He's high as hell. He gets driven back right into Eric Kendrick, who's trying to scrape over to make the play. Alvin Kamara walks into the end zone for a touchdown.
But
I get that. I still would rather
No, I hear
live
what you're
with his
saying.
mistakes than 18 because 18 has shown me nothing in the last 2 years.
Do you have something, Aisha?
I'm sorry. I was in deep thought. It was so much of that yesterday, though, Jesse. Like, just to see guys not be able to shed and tackle was just, and they really just they didn't care about your DNs, and they dared your corners to have to come up and tackle. And typically, your corners do tackle well. They didn't tackle well yesterday, and I felt like they didn't crash the edges good enough. I'll say that. I didn't feel like that the defensive effort that we saw, like rallying to the ball in the Browns, even the Browns game, we didn't see that. But also, too, have mercy, where were your safeties in this game? Where were their minds at?
They were in cover 2 watching a guy run between them for a touchdown.
But forcing the run, I mean, they did not, show up in the run game as well. You need your safety to show up to help with the run.
Yeah, but those these big plays, those big plays over the top, like a lot of that was,
Donovan is not good in pass coverage, and he has not been.
I mean, I don't think that that's his strong suit.
Right.
And
I don't believe
that first touchdown.
I definitely felt like with the Zimmer system, I wondered how Dono fit. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to be the new Harrison Smith and things like that. But I'm just like, even Harrison Smith to me has a little bit more range, just whatever.
You need 2 guys that can cover a deep pass.
Yeah, absolutely. Zimmer values the free more than the strong than Dan Quinn did. Clearly, that was the point of emphasis with Dan Quinn.
This game, and most football games, if we get down to just, if we strip everything away, we strip names and schemes and all that, if we strip all of that away, football really comes down to line of scrimmage. Okay? It comes down to the line of scrimmage. Whether you win offensively or defensively, that's where it comes down to. From play 1. Not fourth quarter, not third quarter in a dogfight.
They scored on the first 5 drives, touchdowns.
First play
first 6?
of the game.
5 or 6.
The first play. I'm talking about your adrenaline is still pumping. You're still excited. You aren't gassed. There are bumps and bruises. And you get your defensive tackle driven back 8 yards.
That's why it was interesting to me that when they won the toss, they decided to play defense. Put your offense out there and get some momentum. Why would you? We're gonna show you our new defense.
I think they took that personally too.
I mean, why would you play defense first?
The Saints.
You're at home.
I didn't mind them deferring
because you believe that you're going to get a stop. Like, I'm a defer guy. I
didn't mind
in it,
deferring,
but this team is not good from behind.
And right, you want to get a lead. That's what you play with leads. Go put your offense out there, gain some momentum.
And the petty part about football, sometimes you start thinking about, like, it happens all across the board. Guys start playing for their coaches a little bit harder. Like, don't forget, Clint Kubiak, he got fired by Zim when he was over in Minnesota. So that could have been something that he talked to his guys about and say, hey, that bleep, 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 And so those type of things. But it felt personal.
No, swear. I mean,
it felt
but it is
personal.
though. It is with Nola.
It felt real personal, and the guys out there were playing with an aggression that was like, I don't give a 2 craps about who you put in front of me, 97, 93, 98, 58, whoever. I'm taking him. And then a lot of it wasn't double team blocks. But it was straight up and down. I'm going to take you from this spot and I'm gonna push the sled all the way over there until I feel like.
But it was personal. Derek Carr is under scrutiny. Okay, there was questions about him. Alvin Kamara, he had to fight for his money. There are questions about his age. All those guys have personal things. It's beyond. The Saints have something to prove. They were pretty good at the end of last season. They thought they should have made the playoffs. They blew out Carolina. Oh, that was just Carolina. It was personal for them.
Yeah.
Here's that big game against the Cowboys. Everybody's watching. Got Tom Brady here. Yeah, it was personal, but it was more about them proving to themselves more so than them doing something against the Cowboys, to me.
Well, that's the thing about this team. And again, that's why it's so frustrating that when they go into these big games where there's so many eyes on them, this is clearly a big deal, is that it just feels like they don't match that energy sometimes. Like, that teams, number one, we know that teams are going to come in here and try to make a statement against you. Everybody's watching, whatever. But then, like, with all this extra stuff, the amount of Saints fans that were there yesterday,
They travel.
They do travel.
They
well.
live here.
They live
Yeah.
here.
They live with Katrina.
They
And
live
we
here.
sell our tickets.
They live
And they had a
here.
band. They was second lining all over Arlington.
Man, like, that's the thing about the Cowboys and the players is that I'm waiting for them to match that energy or top it when they have these games. And it was just from the start, they
That's
seem
why
flat.
you take the ball. That's why you take the ball and gain some
Go ahead.
momentum. That's
Jeff.
that's why you do that.
I see you guys in the chat talking about Dalvin Cook and running backs and all that, and I got to tell you that coming up next, I do have a very painful admission. I don't want to do it. I don't like having. It's not about a belt. I guess it kind of is.
No, y'all.
A very painful admission I have for
not
you, and that's
about a
going to be
belt.
next. But before we get there, I do need to tell you about our friends at Sleeper. The code that you need at Sleeper is DLLS Boys, and I love Sleeper. I'm having a great time every weekend. You can do $1, $5, $10, whatever you want to do, and then you pick either your favorite or your least favorite players, or you're very judicious about it, and you say, do I think that they're going to have more or less than the projected stat line going this week? For the Cowboys, you should have bet the under on everyone. You should have said, no, he will have less than, he will have less than. Jalen Tolbert will have more than. And what you do is you pick as many of those as you want, and the more you pick, the more your return can be, all the way up to 100 times your monies. And that's over at Sleeper. I used to think of it as my home for fantasy football, but now it is my home for doing that. I'll pick 3, 4, 5 guys. Sometimes there's a guy on sale. That gets you hooked up a little bit. Bam, take the more on that guy. And you get hooked up. DLLS Boys is the code that you need at Sleeper, and that'll get you a up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. After the Cowboy game, I did need to take my Zbiotics. I took my Zbiotics pre-alcohol. You need the code DLLS Cowboys. That'll get you 15% off. Because what that does is that's the first thing I drink before I start to drink, so that I know that I could wake up the next day feeling my best. It's Zbiotics pre-alcohol, the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. Here's the deal. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme that breaks that thing down. Just remember to make Zbiotics your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. I'm here. I feel fine. And you know what the Cowboys made me do last night. You know. And it was a noon game, so I had a long time to do it. So shout out to Zbiotics pre-alcohol. Zbiotics.com/DLLS Cowboys. Use the code DLLS Cowboys for 15% off. Okay. I'd like to introduce the 4th, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, depends on the day, member of our panel. The great Joe Hoyt is now joined the panel. Hi, Joe.
Hey guys, I'm the Taysom Hill. I'll do it all.
Yeah, the Taysom Hill of the broadcast.
Yeah.
Does a little bit of everything.
He did it all. What you looking at?
I'm looking at you, Taysom Hill.
Yeah, what's up?
What's happening?
Dude, he did good yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah. He was on kick return. He was blocking.
He's a good player.
Good?
He's a good
I think
player.
I think he did good.
He's a weird player that's a good player that I kind of hate him too because he's not good enough to be a starting quarterback.
I hate him from BYU days. He killed Texas.
He's not good enough to start at any position, but he's good enough to be on the roster at all of them.
He dominated.
He would look
very
good in the
straight.
Cowboys backfield.
He could take Lipke. He could take the Lipke snaps. Maybe we could play with a fullback.
All 10 of them yesterday.
The NFL, it's coming full circle. The fullback is back in vogue. Multiple tight ends, and then you spread them out. Like the new thing is the old thing. It's all
22
coming back
personnel is
around.
hot all of a sudden.
It's like fashion. Pants are baggy, then they get skinny, then they're baggy again. Like the baggy pants are back in style.
They're not
again.
baggy again. You're short.
You
You
still
are
wear
cyclical.
short, skinny stuff.
That was once an old thing. Remember, like when you were young.
yeah. Jesse, you go.
When you were young,
We was wearing the bell bottoms, you know.
you were
so-
wearing the short shorts.
Yeah,
You were wearing the 6-inch jeans.
Yeah, we was
And then then when we were in the early 90s, we had the long,
we were baggy.
we were super
Baggy long jean shorts.
Now all the kids back to wearing the
Stocktons.
Havliceks.
We got to
Yeah.
get ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse.
We got to get ahead of it.
Jesse got us banned from our other studio.
Yeah.
Because he kept wearing his shorts with full bulge. I mean, just full
Really?
bulge.
You gonna say it? You gonna say it? I mean, I had
It was
people
some
call me.
friends that called and complained.
Yeah,
at
but
me.
I had friends that call and complain about you, thirst trapping out here.
My eyes are up here.
Thirst trapping out here.
My
With your little
eyes
short
are up
short.
here.
Short,
My eyes are
short.
up
Thirst
here.
trapping. My goodness, y'all supposed to listen to me and y'all watching Jesse's junk.
You
Yeah.
should always watch me when he's talking.
Okay, this is going to be like my AA meeting. And Katya, I'm going to need your help here. I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to tell you my problems. My name is Jeff.
Hi. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, guys. I've been a running back hater for
This runs deep.
Now, to be clear, I'm more of an old paid running back hater than just a running back hater. I love having good running backs. I wanted Tony Pollard to get the ball a lot 2 and 3 and 4 years ago when he was better than the other guy.
He's still better.
But he is still better. He's having a nice little here in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Good player, that Tony Pollard. We couldn't afford him. By the way, just quick sidebar. Stop letting Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones lie to you. The next person who tells me they couldn't afford to sign people because of XXXX, that's a lie. Thank you.
Facts.
Okay, CD.
I don't like when they call run plays, pretty much. I just want to throw the ball because it's better. Now, like,
You know how many teams are running the ball now? Running
second
with
and
success?
10 run is the worst play call in sports, but I hate running the ball. And I hate running backs who make money or are old. But man,
Well,
if that game
here it
yesterday
comes.
didn't tell me when you can't run the ball a lick, life sucks. When a team can rush your quarterback with 4 and win, drop as many as they want into coverage, and they're saying, I bet you won't run. And I bet if you do, it doesn't work anyway, so we don't care. My God, that makes life hard on your team. Did it not feel yesterday like for the Saints, and maybe this is a McCarthy versus Kubiak thing and offensive scheme, but how many times did when they drop back, it's like, oh, that was fun. He was wide open. And the Cowboys, just to get a first, the Cowboys scored on their first 5 drives.
Right.
Yeah.
The first 5 drives, what the Cowboys did on, or maybe just
I think 4 or 5.
First 4.
4 or 5.
So they had 3 threes and a 7.
Yeah.
Right? Which, if you average that out over the course of a game, that would be called leading the NFL in points per drive.
Yes.
Your offense was fine. You'd like to score more touchdowns. And they were down 19.
That's the red zone
Yeah.
issue that we'll talk about later.
And we'll talk about the red zone issues. But boy, everything seems so hard. Like, just to get a first down was you're going to have to put it on the dot at the sticks to a contested catch. And it was like everything seems so
Right.
hard. And such a big part of that, I feel like, is you couldn't hand it off. And if you did, they didn't care because you have nothing. And I wonder, are we looking at offensive line's going to take a while to gel? Are we looking at something schematic? Or are we looking at your running backs got nothing?
No, they don't have anything. They don't have enough juice to threaten people. You don't have a scheme good enough to create the openings that you want. And teams are going to start just playing their percentages. They're going to start lining up and saying, you know what, guys? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to rush with 4, and we're going to make them methodically move the ball down the football field. And the percentages says that they're either going to miss a throw, incomplete pass,
False
we're going to
start.
get home.
False
Something's going to happen.
The odds are against
The odds are against them because you can't hand the ball off and get positive yards to gain first downs and make them now have to bring safeties down into that box where you now have the possibility to have a open, down the field vertical routes, things that happen for you because that safeties, those safeties have to come up and linebackers have to come up to support the run. Teams are just going to play the percentages on you and go, hey, we'll see what it is.
You asked Dak about that, and
Yeah.
that was that was a good question.
I asked Dak and McCarthy because they kept talking. We had double-digit play drives. Yes, double-digit play drives because everything is so hard and so methodical. You talked about it. But more often than not, you will make a mistake. You will have a missed throw. You will have penetration where you can't get the ball to Zeke for a wide open touchdown. You will have a penalty that sets you back. That's what happens. You have to methodically move that ball down the field because you have no firepower in the backfield or outside. But we're talking about the running back position. And who had on their bingo card that Deuce Vaughn will be more of a factor early in the game than Zeke Elliott?
I think that told you all you need to know about the running back room.
Yes.
Like for everybody who's excited about 10 for 40 and a touchdown, the coaching staff knew that running back had no juice. And it was like, okay, so in week 2, we're going to try some different guys to start the game out. Like they don't know. And the answer is Rico.
Yeah.
I can't believe they won't just know that.
Okay, but is he the answer or he's just a better
He's the
option?
answer out of what is
Okay,
right
he's
now.
a better option.
Right.
I don't know if he's the answer.
Right.
Well, we talked with Rico yesterday too, and one thing I kind of asked him is like, hey, when you have Terp and you have Deuce Vaughn coming in there, when you're kind of forcing that, which was I think what we all kind of felt, when you have Zeke not playing a lot in the first quarter, when you have you kind of going in and out, like how hard is it to establish a rhythm just for yourself? And he called it, hey, we're kind of like splash running backs right now. You don't really have a flow when you have splash because you're kind of switching up. You can't really get into a rhythm. You're not really seeing things. And then all of a sudden, the game dictated that you weren't going to get any rhythm because they were down by so much.
You know what the answer is? The answer is, me and Kat, we worked this out last night. The answer is getting creative. Have a little alpha and the omega. Have the no, not that one. Have the answer from God. And the Cowboys lack the answer from God. And this is what I mean.
Can we get some music going?
You mean King Henry?
No, we're off season. I mean,
there it is.
I mean, getting one of the disciples from the.
Hold on, you're a big church guy. Is this not blasphemy of some sort?
No, this is not blasphemy.
No. This is.
We're getting.
What do you mean?
What
What do you mean? Who is that?
This is
Get his
Kyle
glasses.
Did you just make Kyle Shanahan Jesus?
Yeah. He's the football creative Jesus.
He's football Jesus.
He's football creative Jesus.
You even have a defensive guy up there. That's a testament to it.
Yeah, we want to get more creativity.
2 of them
in this backfield and this offense. We need to find a guy from this tree. That's what we need to do. Find a guy. Find his pool boy. Get his dental hygienist. Get his chiropractor. Get his mechanic. Find one of the guys, one of the disciples from this tree is the answer that we're looking for.
You have future Cowboys head coach Clint Kubiak right there too.
Hey,
go ahead,
I
Clarence.
thought it was Bill Belichick.
Go ahead,
You guys kill me with this.
Go ahead, Clarence.
You guys kill me with this.
Good job,
the old running backs. How old is Kamara?
29.
29. Is that old?
Yeah,
For running back, yeah.
Did he look old?
He looked different. Here.
I would say
are you going to take it?
For
No, you got
4
it.
years
Okay.
before this year? Hell yeah, he looked old.
He was hurt.
He went for 4 years?
I mean, it's just, does he look old?
He looked
Did you
good
see
yesterday.
the contact balance?
He looked
Did you
really
see
good
the
yesterday.
balance?
Yeah, he looked good.
How many times was he running wide open though? Too. What have you seen Derek Carr over the last 4 years?
Did you see him squeeze through? I mean, he wide
You
open.
told me Derrick Henry sucks last week and Zeke was good. I can't talk to you right
No,
now.
I did not. I was talking about stats. I was talking about stats, period. And I also said I would have signed Derrick Henry in the offseason.
I would have signed J.K. Dobbins.
I would have signed J.K. Dobbins.
I would have signed
too.
J.K. Dobbins.
I would have signed
J.K.
J.K. Dobbins too. I would have signed Derrick Henry in the offseason. Don't misconstrue. I was saying this is what Jerry's sitting in his office like, see, that's why I want to pay him $8 million. And really, as good as Derrick Henry was yesterday, they didn't use him enough. They didn't use him in the fourth quarter. Like, why am I paying you $8 million? I'm not going to run you.
That's not his fault.
That's my point with what Jerry said. That's not the only thing I was trying to say. Clearly, nuance was lost there. You guys don't do nuance well. But getting back to this conversation about the running back, the answer now is clearly Dalvin Cook.
No.
No. You stay. I'm going.
Where are you going?
I'm going.
Where are you
He's
going?
literally still ramping up.
Where are you going?
He's literally not practicing with the team and still ramping up.
My point is this. That's the only other option they have. They have no choice but to pull that lever.
You know what I'm going to call Dalvin Cook? I have a name for Dalvin Cook. I'm going to call him Other Zeke.
Other Zeke.
Yeah, the other
They have no
guy.
choice but to pull that lever.
Variant Zeke.
They have no choice at this point, right? What other answer do they have? Mike McCarthy is not going to all of a sudden change to the Shanahan offense in the middle of the season.
Maybe he should add some elements to it.
In the middle of the season.
Maybe.
I think he should at least steal plays. Every coach, I think, every coach should steal plays every week.
Yeah.
You see a play that
Still,
works.
Mike
the
McCarthy
plays
elevated
still
last year.
different than the system. I'm just saying he can't change who he is. And I'm saying clearly Zeke's not working. Clearly Deuce experimented. Mike McCarthy, y'all want to see Deuce? Here he is. Now we can put that to the side.
Play Rico and see what happens, and then realize that we're all
But you
screwed.
still
and
need
then
more than
trade
one.
for a
Rico
guy.
has not showed you anything that he can be the guy and carry the full load.
I know. It's just whoever else goes in, I'm just like, oh.
The other option is Dalvin Cook. He gushed about him last
You
week.
can't say gush. It's gush.
He gushed.
How do you
He
spell
gushed. He did everything about his sweet feet. Oh, he has great feet.
G-O-U-S-H.
You say he gooched?
He had lemon booty about him last week. How about that?
You read that one snack, Gooshers?
Yeah, right in the goosh. Right near the goosh. Right near the
The
goosh.
belt is
Because
still there.
everybody
We're
else
talking
got
about
lemon booty
Gooshes.
watching that running game, okay?
All right. Everybody, please, if you're out there, like and subscribe if you're watching right now. We sure would appreciate it. By the way, thanks to you guys and the amount that you've watched and subscribed, we now have super chat ability.
Oh, yeah.
We love super chat ability. And I know we had one.
We had Brian, right?
I know we had a
We'll
super
find
chat.
him.
We'll get you.
We'll get you, boy.
We'll get you.
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
Where
We had assistants.
Yeah, we had a super chat, and we can now have them, and it's glorious. So hit like and subscribe, and thanks for being here. And if you want us to address whatever you got, just fire us gifts like that. You know what I'm saying? Before we get
do
to
things
which
for
parts
money.
of this game aren't fixable, let's talk about my friends at Indeed, our friends at Indeed, where they're driven by the search for better. When it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. We love us some Indeed. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. You want to post your jobs with the code ALLCITY, and that's how you're going to get your hookup. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. It's Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
You think they got D tackles over at Indeed?
That's where they got Limbo.
That'd be so good if they did. What if that is where they found
You're
the two they
going
got
to jail.
on Indeed? On Indeed.
Well, while you absolutely leave Indeed, head over to my friends at RuggedRoadhouseOutdoors.com. Use our promo code DLLS to get 10% off. Rugged Roads are dedicated and creative, innovative, and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best.
I
Our
love
products,
coolers.
You have a lot of coolers.
I
at your
love
crib.
cool. Yeah, but I'm
You do.
consolidating now. I'm just going Rugged Road.
Oh.
Yeah.
Our products are designed with the highest quality material, craftsmanship, ensuring that they perform in the toughest conditions, whether on land or in the water. One of the most unique features about this one, and you have a pool as well, so this one will be good for you. It floats. This
I
cooler
love stuff that floats.
So
We
now
all
you can
float
put it
down
out
here.
there. Put a couple beers in there, that thing will float. The durability, crafted and handled to toughest environments, their coolers are built to last, ensuring that they can keep up with any adventure.
Skip down here.
Oh, gotcha. So gear up for the next adventure with durable, reliable, durable, and built to use. Rugged Road is an ultimate outdoor companion. Head over to RuggedRoadOutdoors.com. Use our code DLLS to get 10% off your next cooler. And it floats.
It floats. All right. Shout out to our two super chatters so far in the show. Brian, who said Saints fan here. Good game. Oh, you son of a. What do you all think we have to do to beat a balanced, physical, tough Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts? First of all, Jalen Hurts isn't good, so I wouldn't worry about that.
And also, too, not to be mean, Brian, we don't do that here. I'm not about to give you tips on how to beat Philly. We don't like.
I can beat Philly. I can keep Philly.
It's
Do
not
what you
that
did yesterday.
complicated.
Yeah, do what you did yesterday.
Yeah, their
That's the tip.
secondary is.
Yeah, throw the ball at their secondary and watch them be awful. Do what you just did.
Yeah, and also too that their DTs, quiet as kept. They are not interested in stopping the run either like that. They have pass rushy DTs. They're
Yeah.
not stopping the run. Davis and Carter,
I know,
they be
but-
getting blown off the ball
Boy,
too,
I'd love
boss.
to
Just
trade
let
straight
Kubiak
up.
cook, dude.
Yeah, you can trade. You can trade them.
Trade straight up though.
You can trade.
The
trade 'em,
Lunatic
but-
is a good, strong super chatter. He's been around for a long time.
Oh
You
yeah,
want to
he's a
win?
good dude.
Put other Zeke and chill in.
Oh my god.
On that note, I want to take a moment with chill out.
Oh, I love this. Just take advantage of this.
Yes, I want to take
time,
advantage of this moment.
yeah.
He
got lemon booty face.
Total lemon
Y'all
booty face
have
over
to
there.
stop.
Hey, so Derek Carr, right? Looking like he's got a little MVP season going on right
Okay,
now.
chill out.
No, but what was he like the previous years in New Orleans and
No.
and last in the Raiders? He was pretty bad, right?
No, yeah, he's the
Check
line
down
of
Charlie.
demarcation of you want a new quarterback.
Yeah, and usually below it, in my opinion.
Right.
Okay, Alvin Kamara obviously had been dealing with injuries, but wasn't doing well, right? Oh, let's go to another Shanahan scheme. Oh, they lost Christian McCaffrey, right? That's the X factor for the 49ers. Oh, Jordan Mason's averaging over 5 yards
you
a
go
carry
tear
right
down
now.
Clarence while he
My
can't
point-
defend
my
himself.
No,
point
I was
being-
about to. Go ahead.
That's a good method right there.
My
Tear
point
down while
being-
he can't talk. That's a good method.
My point being, what's the difference in the New Orleans Saints? Clint Kubiak.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The Shanahan style offense works. I'm going to put it like that.
No.
Everything's different.
I was off camera, but I wanted to just very quickly say that when you're talking about this run game,
Look at Clarence
I
while he's
love
You
saying.
how
have to
everyone able to
consider-
get their points out like Clarence off.
Yeah, look at him while he's
Facts.
saying.
Look
there's some air in the room. No. But like the Cowboys' run scheme
His
leaves
butt.
a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
It
Good
is.
transition.
There's not that many teams in this league anymore that can just play you straight up.
Yeah.
And the lack of deception, the lack of trying to create more spacing and stuff like that. You just mentioned it, the creativity. It's a problem. It's a problem. And I'm not saying that you have to completely change who you are, but I talked to you guys about this offline. You have athletic offensive linemen. You have powerful offensive linemen in the interior, but they're also athletic. You're not taking advantage of that in the way that you are running the ball right now. So whereas, yes, I agree, there's not enough firepower really in this running back room with respect. I'm pretty sure if we did some research, we've seen teams do something with guys like this.
And I
Jordan
think
Mason undrafted
to-
free
to
I don't know
your
if there's
point-
ever been a running back room this bad. in the
to
NFL.
You're going to
Aisha's
jail.
point, I think the creativity, and I think sometimes when we say creativity, they want like this magical thing to happen.
No,
and
it's
it's
not
just
that
about
complex.
creating the angles to win.
Yes.
Like
That's
when
it.
you watch good running teams, I've said this many times before. When you can motion and I can get a linebacker to take that step and a half
Secondary
over,
motion.
and then I come back the opposite way. I
He's
just
dead.
motioned him out of position.
Yeah, he's dead.
And so now my guard
Can cut
has
him
a
off.
chance to get up the field, cut him off, be a step ahead of him. So now either he's going to have to undercut it, I'm going to push him through that way, or he's going to run directly into that block. So like those are the things that when you're talking about the creativity, I don't want people to think that there's some magic wand and we're trying to create
No.
this ultimate deception. It's about creating the proper angles that you want for your offensive lineman. And when you have athletic offensive linemen, it's easier for them to do these things because they have the good feet and the good balance and the speed and the agility to get to those certain levels. But if you just think you're going to just line up and just go forward,
That's not what football is
that's
anymore.
not going to work.
And I saw everyone talking about, like, you guys even mentioned, like, this defense looked slow yesterday. That front seven looked like they were unsure of a lot of what was going on. It was so bad that your safeties got caught peeking so much in the backfield because they like, y'all need some help down there?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that's what the Shanahan tree and motion and secondary motion, like Joe, I'm sure is going to talk about that stuff. It creates spacing and it makes guys have to think. The whole premise of offense is to really make that defense have to work for it. You're not making nobody work for it right now. They're playing you straight up because you playing them straight up. And clearly people are they're taking it personally. They're like, oh, okay. Y'all just going to line up and y'all think y'all going to beat us? We got something for that ass. And I'm tired of seeing that. And I'm honestly exhausted with the idea that you can have your ideals, but you have to be able to keep up with the trends. And these
That's what they got for that tail.
Yo,
baby.
like, it's linebackers, DNs and stuff, like, running 4-3s now. You can't play these games. That's not what this game is anymore. So, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah,
but
no,
I'm,
so maybe
I'm
this is something
sick.
that you could fix, right?
Yeah,
okay,
it's
in terms of
fixable.
this might be fixable.
It is.
Because I thought the whole time, I kept thinking this. I thought they were thinking too much. Paralysis by analysis last game. All right, hey, if this guy goes in this motion over here, that the strength shifted over, now we got another one coming over here. The Saints and the Shanahan offense do a great job of not only doing one motion, right? We talk about motion rate, and that could be literally a fullback going over and shifting just
Where
a
do the
little bit.
Cowboys rank right now?
I lost that stat, but they were
After week one, they were
had
very
the
high.
7th most motion on passing plays. Would you have known that? Did it look like that in Cleveland? It did not really look like that.
Lies and deceit.
Yeah, because guess what? When you have Shanahan-style offenses, you got a fullback going for, cheat motion here to get a better angle, right? But you also had a tight end that shifted all the way to the other side that changed the strength. So now
Yes.
you got deep linebackers saying, hey, I'm going to look over here, but oh, wait, now we got this guy. Now I'm out of position. And guess what? You play fast on offense when you're able to get those angles and you know what's going to happen. On defense, it's about read and react. In Cleveland, we saw a lot of read and react, play downhill, DeMarvion Overshown in the backfield before you even knew it. Against the Saints last week, you had a lot of guys thinking, I thought, and they weren't playing fast, and I think that was a huge difference in the game.
I think what's happened to offensive football and for a lot of the smart teams is it goes in steps, right? Like once upon a time, everybody was stationary.
Right.
Then it was, oh, wait, if we get a guy to go from here to here before the snap, if you go with me, I know you're playing man. And if you don't, then you're in zone. And that gives me a clue. But now I think for the smart people, it's turned into we can do multiple things before the snap to see if you don't match the alignment right and we can go. And if you do, then we'll do our next thing. And I can have a guy, like, I think now it's more about, instead of just we moved to see what you would show us, it's we're going to be moving at the snap.
Chestnut checkers.
Because now I can have a receiver so often now in the NFL, the good teams, the smart teams, you'll have a receiver that starts running from left to right. And if it's man, they snap the ball, he hits the brakes, runs back that way, and you just can't keep up with him. We're finding ways to create angles, leverages, get matchups, all those different things. And I don't think that the Cowboys are great at it. I think, honestly, McCarthy as an offensive mind is fine.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, better than some.
It's not
worse
terrible.
than the best. And ultimately, what you would love to have is on both sides of the ball that I could point to my guy who runs my offense and my defense and say why I have the advantage over you because of him. Like, not that he's okay or he has a decent scheme, but like that guy got open because of my coach. That guy got a sack because of my coach.
Right.
We got to pick because that's what you're looking for, and that's where you got schooled this week.
And to segue into what you're going to talk about, like we're about to talk about, is like, what can you fix? What can you not fix? It seems as though you are in a position to where you lack the players in certain places. Baby, you got to scheme around it. That's what you do. If you're not going to go out and get anyone, and I'm not going to sit up here and act like it's a fair position to put the coaches in. Like that they don't have the adequate guys. Like, I mean, Zimmer was season about to start, Zimmer's still talking about something. I need a DTE. So I do think like it puts them in a weird situation, but figure it out, man. Like, you got to fix it because it's not going to happen through your personnel right now. It doesn't feel like.
And that's the hard part, because I think that if you don't do something about your personnel, because I'm going to combine what you just said with what Jesse said earlier, where at its core, if I whip your ass at this line of scrimmage, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And so like the idea that, hey, we're not going to be able to, or you have to scheme around this. I don't know how you scheme around the fact that you can whip my ass at the line of scrimmage every week. But if you have a decent offensive line, I have one NFL defensive tackle on my whole team.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's hard to scheme around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can't hold the point of attack if you run right at me.
So DT,
I just think I don't know what you do.
So DT
but
is-
if you're serious, like Jerry talking about all in, whatever, that was a lie. They were kind of all in last year. They did a lot of money moving to sign players. Like, they were kind of. This year they didn't, so it was a weird time to say all in. But if you wanted to give yourself a real chance to be a contender, you're calling teams that suck right now and trying to figure out what in the world can I do to, and this is Jerry Jones's fault. This isn't Mike Zimmer. This is not the players. This is Jerry and whoever else in the front office you want to put it on, because we knew. We knew before camp started they didn't have enough of D tackle.
Yeah.
And they did the thing that the Cowboys do, which is, well, we drafted a guy in the 7th round. We got the first rounder from last year who wasn't any good, but we picked him in the first round. So obviously he'll be good.
That's trusting your coaches far too much. That's Zim saying, now this is a guy that can get it done. This is a guy, if I get this guy, I know he's a little bit up in age, but we're going to rotation this thing. I'm going to give you a little bit of Mozzie. I'm going to give you a little bit of Jordan. I'm going to give you a little bit of this guy.
But he knew at the end of camp that it wasn't working because he was like, hey, go get my old people.
Please.
And they're not good enough.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even at the end, he was trying to collect these dudes and say, like, you know, they won't get it done individually, but hopefully collectively as a unit, I can probably scheme and trust this.
And then you
it's
let
just not
Justin
working.
Rogers walk.
I was just going to say that,
But can he help today? Like maybe next year, right?
Let me tell
is he
you.
maybe next year?
Let me
yards off the
tell you, a couple watches into this, he would have gave you better play with respect. Like, and through the preseason, he might have looked like your best DT in general. Like, he just has a natural feel for the position, and he's not getting his ass blown off the ball as much. So no, I don't think that you had the room to sacrifice that. Like, cause you throwing stuff at the wall right now, and you might have had at least another rotation.
He might be better than the old.
And I would have rather seen him than, you know, a 35-year-old defensive tackle.
I'm
Frankly, that's just, or at least losing him. You know, I mean, they put him on waivers. Hey, maybe we'll sneak him in the practice squad. That wasn't going to happen because he was out. So
if you want to win the Super Bowl, you should start calling people and firing off your mid-round picks for football players.
Okay.
They're going to have 100 of them. They're going to have 100 4th and 5th round picks from comp picks this year.
Yeah.
Start firing them off. Go get me 2 defensive tackles and a running back. Figure it out.
It's insane that we're still talking about, not us, but us. We're still talking about the same things. We've been talking about
the Cowboys are rinse and repeat,
We've been
baby.
talking about this defensive tackle thing for ages. Like when I didn't have gray hair, we were talking about.
And that's probably why they didn't do anything. Is like, what are you talking about? We already tried. We signed we used a first round pick. What do you want us to do now? Like, I don't know. Find a good player.
No, it's just weird to not invest in it when it's just such a clear thing. And it, again, like I said, well, first of all, yesterday, it put your DNs in hell because they were overcompensating real bad. And that's where when guys don't trust the guy next to them and they don't think you can get the job done, a lot of time they start doing stuff that's a little outlandish. And the way that the DNs were getting pinned inside, trying to help out, that is a direct result of them not trusting that these DTs, they seeing them get blown off the ball. It's a problem.
And it's wild because you're still trying to wash out that old Dan Quinn YOLO ball that the guys played last year. So you're trying to still rinse and wash that out and then, incorporate this new system. And then you get into these games and guys are like, man, if he ain't doing it, I'm going to go YOLO back. I'm going to go back to being YOLO again because this guy next to me ain't doing what he's doing. And a defense that's built upon and predicated upon guys doing exactly what you need to do so the other guys can have success.
Yeah.
Also, quick fix. I put DeMarvion Overshown in base defense. I'd rather see him flying around.
Yeah,
he needs to be your weak side linebacker
It's just
no
not
matter
worth
what.
it. All right, so what else is fixable? Not fixable. Jeff? Oh, you want to do the super chat? I'm
running back room might not be fixable. I think the thing that you have to try is just
if you want to win, put Chill in.
Rico is our running back and see how it goes. And literally, guys come in when he's tired. Maybe defensive tackle. I just don't think it's fixable with what's on the roster. I don't think there's anything you can do about it. I think you're bad. Wide receiver, I guess you keep cruising and see what happens. Like Tolbert had some plays.
Yeah, he made a nice catch.
But Brooks
had a bad game.
Turpin.
Let's go Floyd.
Call him
up.
Well, there you go.
Let's not like.
And that's probably the Cowboys.
I feel a way about Ryan.
That's a good point.
Call him up.
I actually like Ryan.
I actually really like him.
Jalen struggled. I think it's worth taking a shot.
I love how Tom Brady said, "I wouldn't throw to him again."
And then they threw to him pretty quickly.
I told Ryan Florner when I saw him in the locker room. I said, "Hey, I think you're a player. Do you know how hard it was to get your film?" Like on the draft show, I was the only person that knew anything about him. Yeah. But not like I think he could help at this point. I mean, the guy can get open on his own. We talked about some of the red zone woes. We talked about the fact that he's physical at the point of attack, and that attitude, that energy is something that I think you're lacking. You guys mentioned before the show, even the size within the wide receiver room.
He's a big man.
It makes a difference, and it's starting to show. And it is just week 2. It's weird because of this conversation, right? Because it's like, it's just week 2. How do we temper ourselves?
Last week we were winning the Super Bowl. This year we're going. This week we're going 5-13.
We saw the NFL be that girl, be the girl that she is, and get a little weird on us yesterday.
It'll do that.
So it's like, did none of the other teams get like blown out like that? But at the same time, we saw some wins that were unexpected. We saw some losses that were unexpected. So it's like, how do I temper myself, but also, to your point, Jeff, ask the questions of, baby, is this my life for the last?
That's why I think that question becomes important
16
because
weeks?
The NFL's weird. San Francisco took an L. Baltimore took an L.
Cleveland won.
Teams win and lose games that they shouldn't.
You said that so hard.
They did.
Cleveland won.
Like those things happen. But what can you take from a game that you go, okay, I get it.
Right.
You're going to win some and lose some.
It's the same thing that beat us. Like that's
Can't
the thing.
Stop the run.
It's the same
Running
thing.
the ball.
It's
the same book.
It ain't wonky like
it's the same book.
we had 9 turnovers and they had this. No, it wasn't that. It was like, the same thing that's normally beat us showed itself again to beat us.
So with the run defense, I guess I want to ask you guys if it is the same things. You do have a new scheme. You do have a new coach. You do have new players. They may not be great in certain positions. What's the problem?
The problem is the players aren't good enough. I mean, now I'll also blame Zimmer. We're going to do this quick because we have a whole nother segment. I do blame Zimmer for this. Last week, I got you. Last week, I literally pulled up, what did the Saints do on 3rd down in week 1?
Yeah.
When they needed to have it. And everything that they did was, okay, here's why the Cowboys could lose this game. Big plays. 1 play is 7 points, 2 is 14, 3 is 21. Here's what they're going to do when they need it on a run play. They're going to pin and pull on a toss play. And the Cowboys weren't ready for any of the things that they already showed you they do.
That's the most annoying thing about these big games. When you talk about the Green Bays, when you talk about the San Fran, the other teams always look prepared.
Yep.
And that's what drives me the most nuts.
Yep.
Because it's like, we fire up. I'm not saying I'm anywhere near the level of expertise as a player or even a former player. However,
Thank you.
baby, we watching the same film. And it don't take rocket science to see, like, this is how they run offense. They really don't care about the big, like, they will go for the big play.
Yeah.
That's something your offense lacks
Yeah.
right now. It's explosive plays, and Derek Carr's putting that thing on a rope, in fairness.
We do have a couple super chats,
Okay,
and then
yeah,
I need
yeah.
to tell you about being a diehard.
Yes.
And then one of these super chats is going to take us to what we're talking about next. Adrian says, if this team is a front-running team, why is this offense stacked? Why half-assed when it comes to bringing talent? That's probably why isn't this offense stacked? Why half-assed when it comes to bringing in talent? Because the Joneses like to play with the budget, and they want to be competitive year in and year out. They don't like the all-in thing. They don't like the move money around and know that you're going to have to eat it in 3 years. They want to be competitive every year. That's what they choose. Kenneth, Jeff, Aisha, Jesse,
Now,
what's
Kenneth,
up?
come on now.
McCarthy needs to lean more on Dak.
There's no
If Dak
I in
can't
Jesse.
carry us, there is no I in Jesse. If Dak can't carry us, we have no hope, no
Give it
matter
to
what
me.
the defense can do.
He
Dak talk is next.
He only called me Aisha. He gave it to me.
Oh, you got they took one of her eyes and gave it to you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys in the super chats. You will get them read if you fire them in here. We appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe while you're watching. But I love watching Clarence freak out. He's like, y'all should have gone to break. I'm back. It's time. We also want you to sign up to be a diehard. What happens when you do that? Head on over to alldlls.com because we do. We have a hardworking group of folks covering every team here in DFW. So if you are a diehard of the local teams, it's great. The premium content that you get from writing, Joe and Clarence for the Cowboys, and we have people for every team.
We write tweets.
What's that?
We write tweets.
We write tweets.
We wart tweets.
We be tweeting.
We be tweeting.
Or zeeting.
Tweet.
Xing. We be Xing.
We be Xing.
We be Xing. But when you sign up to be a diehard on alldlls.com, you get hooked up. You get a free t-shirt. And the t-shirts are badass. You need to check out our merch store. Take a peek. A lot of cool stuff. You also get 20% discount on our upcoming events. You get 20% discount on merch, and the merch is so good. It's so good. I love that you get access to the Discord server where I've been really having great talks with people about what a fun time we had watching the Cowboys yesterday. So we get to interact with you guys, all the different folks, and we're talking about sports, we're talking about life, we're talking about books, we're talking about movies, whatever. It's all in there. We're having ourselves a good time. And you get a sweet little card. You get a little membership card that you're a diehard. It says, hey, looky here, I'm a diehard. It's kind of like my card I got in my wallet. It says I can...
A strip club.
No,
VIP?
Wait, what?
no, this is my credential of ministry.
Oh,
Okay.
But you could get you a
Diehard for the church.
For the Lord.
Yeah,
What?
credential of ministry.
For the Lord.
If anybody wants,
Diehard for the
if
Lord.
anyone wants to get married, I'm ordained by the Universal Life Church, and I can do that for you.
what?
He's in God's Discord now.
That's right. That's right.
I thought it was like that strip club VIP card that Jesse
Is
used to
that
have.
what you would diehard
Yeah,
of?
ain't no Jesse used to have.
Jesse didn't go.
Okay,
there.
I was talking about myself.
Yeah, I was saying,
there you
it was
go.
definitely.
There you go.
You were
That was
using
definitely-
someone else to talk about you.
I
is
was
what
just
happened.
talking about myself.
My friends.
I had to cover the Cowboys. Keith Davis. I had to cover Keith Davis. They was at the strip club. Bill Parcells banned them, okay? I had to cover them,
That's
okay?
true.
Shout out to KD. What up, KD?
Clarence was a beat writer during the '90s. You had to go where they went.
Yes, you did.
You had to get. You been to the
Yes.
White House?
I've had to do stories.
You been to the
I
White House?
remember- You know, I'm not. I refuse to articulate for fear I may deviate from true rectitude of my court.
Oh, okay.
What?
No comment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cowboys Cafe.
Plead the fifth.
It's always a story.
I mean, it's always a story because I remember I introduced the Cowboys running back coach to his running back at a strip club.
What?
I did. Okay, when Bill Parcells got hired, what is the running back? I can't think of his name now. The running back, the offensive coordinator, initially offensive coordinator, Mo Carthon, excuse me. Mo Carthon liked going to the strip clubs. And he used to be at the
I
strip
can't-
club in Arlington.
Sorry, Maurice.
He said Mo Carthon and I.
Sorry, Maurice.
It's Mo. They called him Mo.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying. I'm sorry that you're doing this to him right now.
You putting him out there.
And the Cowboys lived in the strip club. I introduced him to Troy Hambrick in the strip club.
That's nice of you,
You want to win? Put chill in.
I'm just
Kenneth.
And all the ways.
Kenneth is in the
back in
super
the
chat.
peeping Tom days in Arlington.
Shout out to Kenneth.
Kenneth is in the super chat just to say more Jesse.
Ah, thank
Nothing but love, killing it.
No, I.
You need to talk more. So Jesse, is
Talk.
there anything you would like to say? Not the belt again.
If
Is that
you
for
don't-
Kenneth?
If you don't become a diehard,
Yeah.
belt to
Ass.
A-star.
Come on.
Kenneth also with another super chat. Clarence, you're a legend. Keep up the great work. So Jesse Moore, Clarence, you're a legend.
How we doing?
We're
$5, man. Where my $5 at?
we're here, baby.
Take it to People Times.
A lot of people yelled about Dak because Dak made all the money. So we have to talk about Dak. Like, you watch that offense, you watch what they did, and a lot of people want, like, I don't care about whatever the circumstances are, score more points, quarterback, man. You got all the money, score more points.
Yeah, it's it's funny because I saw you tweeting about it, most people tweeting about it. If you're complaining about the offense, you don't know football. If you're making this game about Dak, you don't know football.
Now, we can complain about the offense in the red zone. I'm just going to tell you
No. Overall, that was not the problem yesterday.
No,
they scored 16.
But getting in that red zone, they faltered a lot in the red zone.
Dak talked about that a lot, yeah.
That's the problem.
One
you don't have
touchdown in 6 quarters.
That's the problem. You have big plays, and you have to 12 play for. We had 14 play drives. We had 12 play drives. And Mike McCarthy. Yeah,
it's hard.
It's hard. And when that's what you have to do, and when you have to go station to station down the field, you're going to mess up. You're going to have a leakage and miss a throw, and you're going to that happen. That's why you need to supplement that with big plays. Have big plays on offense, but overall, they scored in the first 14 drives of the game. First 4 drives of the game. The Cowboys had 16 points at halftime. That was the 6th highest most points at halftime in the NFL. The other teams who had 16 or more points at halftime led by 13 or more points at halftime.
Oh, they were all winning?
They were all winning.
By
by a lot.
13 or more,
by 19.
Okay, and the Cowboys were down by 19.
12.6
Even though they
yards
had
per play.
red zone issues, they were still scoring
Right.
points. And if you protract that over the course of the game, supplement the touchdown with the field goals, generally you can win games with that offense. But yes,
Could have lost
when you
70,
make
32.
$60 million, everything is going to be scrutinized on you.
I mean, because you look at, I'm not here to have the Dak debate. I thought Dak, for what he
I thought
is.
he was fine.
I thought
He was
fine.
very
His
solid in
two-
the
right.
first half. In the
His two
second half, it got away from him.
Right.
Ryan
look at his 2
Brooks
interceptions.
fell down.
Yes.
And then the
Like,
other one,
got
Honey
bad.
Badger just played him.
Well, that was his fault. That
Yeah,
that
but I mean, the
one
Honey
was his
Badger,
fault.
it was a
That
great play, though, too.
No.
Well, I think at that point he had
Honey
just on
Badger was
fourth down.
covering somebody else, but
It was a nice play. Yeah, he forced it.
Well, he was going 88 no matter what.
Everyone knew they were going 88.
Right.
They knew that.
No doubt.
They knew that.
No
And I'm
doubt.
not saying that it was wrong in going 88, but
No,
we
that
all
was-
knew.
He just threw to
was
Brevin
going-
Span forward on
Right,
fourth.
yeah.
So he was like, I'm
and
covered.
that's the problem. And I asked Dak about it. Then he said, "Yeah, I need to do more.
Yeah.
I need to make plays with my feet."
But it's the play. It's the missed touchdown to CeeDee Lamb when he beats him on the post, right? And they said, you know what? That's on me. I was off. We had miscommunication.
Right.
Yeah.
He thought he was going here, and he was
Yeah,
going here.
you
no training camp.
you like to have those guys in training camp to work on
Yeah.
those things, but that's neither here nor there. But it's moments like that, and we all know that a play like that, when you get that moment
You
to
gotta
have
hit
that touchdown, one, you got to hit it, and two, it could change the outcome of a game, right? Because
Dak talked about that.
theoretically, it can help you keep up. And that's what, it's funny because Mike McCarthy, well, we had to keep pace, with the way our defense go. See, the problem is that now you have to compensate on offense. I love we have to be complimentary football where the defense ain't playing well. Complimentary offense, we got to score with the other team. And yeah, that sounds good, but that kind of makes you out of who you are. And you're forcing things.
that's your new story for tonight. Complimentary versus what did you say? Compensating?
Compensatory?
Compensating for complimentary. That's
Right.
the article up.
Because you're forced to do things that out of your element to keep up. And that's not who you are because you don't have those type players. In real time, when he threw that ball, Brevin Span forward on fourth down, I run the
You
ball.
and me both.
I was like, what are you doing? Why? And he said, I was throwing away from him. Why? He wasn't a pass catching tight end in college. He came as a run block guy. The first 2 weeks of camp, his hands were stone.
Yeah.
In camp, he
You
didn't
say
catch
for
it.
Dak to run on that?
Or do something, make a play. He said, I should do something, because
You said run the ball, and I'm thinking, you think they're going to get 4 yards?
No, Dak.
scramble,
Okay,
scramble mode, make something happen.
Dak
And
said he had an opening to
and
scramble.
that's what you have to do. And he talked about, at the end of I changed things last season. I started doing things. Why would you not start the season like that? And especially in a game like this, you talk about, the defense having problems. It's time to make some plays. And again, Dak did not lose the game. He was not the reason they lost. He wasn't the reason they lost to Green Bay. I don't care about it. He had the 2 first half interceptions. The defense was the prime problem in both of those games. But unlike last year, especially this year, when you make $60 million, you're the first $60 million man. It is what it is. You're the first $60 million man in history. And I know you have lesser players and all. I love what y'all were talking about, the schemes. And we're going to have this conversation all season because I'm old school. I'm believing the Jimmys and Joes over the X's and O's. I'm sorry. And they have no Jimmys and Joes. That running back room was one of the worst in the league.
Yeah.
It started the season. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, that wide receiver room is one of the worst in the league.
The X's and O's can make them Jimmys and Joes look better.
Make them look a little better. But they ain't going to make them potent. Okay, I'm sorry.
They took the Saints from awful offense to great.
The Saints got some Jimmys and Joes. I'm sorry.
They had the same Jimmys and Joes last year.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I think they're healthier. I think the receiver...
Derek Carr. So
Derek Carr was able to do that because the running game. He had no pressure. I'm just out there doing this because of the running game. But
because the
we're gonna talk about this all season.
Oh, we're gonna be. I'll be here.
Shanahan offense better win a damn Super Bowl.
Well, they're gonna need to get Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna win all of them.
No excuses. Win a
You
damn
guys
Super Bowl.
have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for being here with us. We love
Like
you.
and subscribe.
Remember that you have no idea what anyone's going through.
Like and
Jesse has a
subscribe.
weapon. We love you. Be easy. Be cool to everybody.
Eliminate the contingencies.
You all silly like the mayor.